This is the official hour with RBP, where we talk about raw, unfiltered solutions and tips to all things entrepreneurship. And now, here's your host, Rahul B. Patel.
Hey guys, it's Rahul B. Patel with the official hour, and today I want to talk about fear creates opportunity. So this is super important right now. Today's news world, kind of the world we're living in right now, all we hear about is fear and different things that evoke fear in our hearts, our minds, and our emotions. We hear about the war, we hear about inflation, we hear about politics, we hear about the stock market crashing, bear market, interest rates, whatever it is we have right now, it's about fear, and people become paralyzed in that fear. And I see it all the time. People talk about not even investing anymore, not buying real estate. I don't want to buy a house right now because they're too high. This has been going on for decades. And you know what? The one thing I've learned, the one thing I saw in my life is that fear creates opportunity. So I'm going to take the step back a little bit and say, how does this come to life? I remember back when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for college, what I wanted to do as a major, I remember everyone around me was going into medical school or some sort of medical related field, because that is what the world I grew up in, that was the path to success. So if you didn't do that, it was fearful, because how are you going to have opportunities? And for me, I saw an opportunity to say, I want to do something different. I want to be something different. But there was fear in that, right? How do you break away from what everybody in your family tells you is right? Everybody that you've seen is the correct thing to do. But you know what? Sometimes you look backwards and you see something different, and that fear can create an opportunity for you. So you know what? I have 3 simple steps that can help you overcome fear and find the opportunity. Number 1, pause and take a breath. Now that's a big difference when I say pause versus stop. Most people stop. There's fear and they just stop. Inaction, inability, paralysis, whatever it is you can think about, it becomes stopping, not pausing. And what I mean by that is take a breather, take a pause and a breath and see what's happening. Truly analyze why you're feeling that way and why fear is stopping you from seeing that opportunity. I know people, each one, there's many of you right now looking at this camera that haven't bought a house, simple thing like bought a house because I'm gonna wait for prices to get right. I'm gonna wait for, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be correct. I don't know if that was the right time. I don't know if we should wait for our job to get whatever that is, you've lost opportunity. In the last 2 years, market has gone through the roof when it comes to homes, right? Whatever those are, you have these fears. So I want you to pause and take a breath and to understand why you're not doing that. Number 2, after you've taken that pause and you've calmed yourself, read and research. Understand what history tells you. History tells you a lot. If you look back, for a lot of those people who've been scared of the stock market and see crash and read, because they didn't read and research. They stopped and they stopped still. They didn't pause, breathe, and read and research. And if you read and researched and saw what happened last time there's high inflation and war, there were stocks out there and types of companies to buy that are going through the roof right now. Look at military defense, and this is no financial advice, by the way, but read and research. If you read and research what history tells you and what the future might be going, you'll know that there's still opportunities out there. There are still opportunities, and people see brick and mortar failing, but guess what? Digital and online are succeeding. So it doesn't mean there isn't opportunity. It doesn't mean there isn't a way to pivot your business. It just means you didn't read and research. And then finally, you've got to act. Again, we're on the way over here. People just become fearful, so they don't do anything. They overread and research. They spend so much time in step number 2 that they never get to step number 3. You will never get step number 2 fully correct, but you've got to act. That's the only way you can rinse and repeat that process. You can go back, you act, things get a little sideways, you pause, you breathe, you read, research, and look back at what you did and what the future could hold, and you go back and do that. That's how you create opportunities out of other people's fears. And remember this, right? There's like a saying, where's the best place to be in the storm? It's in the center, right? In the calm, in the eye. There's the most calm there. Same thing, when you see a whole bunch of people fleeing and running from the market, running from something, if you took a step, pause, breathe, and look backwards, guarantee there's safe places to stand and be. And that's the same thing when it comes to life. Fear is sometimes the best creator of opportunity, and we fail to see it. We fail to read and learn about it, and we fail to act on it. That's what happens. We become safe in what we're doing. So remember, fear can create opportunity. And in a world full of fear right now, whether it's the pandemic, I want to stop and pause and talk about the pandemic again. People are so fearful of this pandemic, and it's a scary thing that's done horrendous things to the world. But one thing that people haven't paused, breathed, read, and researched and acted on is health and fitness. I talk about that all the time. The best way to challenge your body, your mind, to not let a pandemic get you is pause, breathe, read and research that says health and fitness is the best challenge to every disease that is affecting this, which is heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and act. Get out there and go do something about it. Get out there and go do something about your health. If you do that, that fear of getting sick from that can actually become an opportunity for you to become the best person that you can be. So remember, guys, this is Rahul B. Patel with the Official Hour. And remember, fear creates opportunity.